Binance Coin continues to look insanely bullish. Recently, I posted a chart with a target of $600 on a bull pennant breakout. People said that I was a moon boy and I was crazy, but it took less than 2 weeks. Well, now we have a very similar setup happening with a target of $1,000. That's right. BNB looks like it could be headed to $1,000. I'm going to take a look at those charts, show you what I'm seeing, and also review all the news that's driving markets today. Stay tuned. What is up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button down below, click that thumbs up. As the kids say, smash the like button. Now, as I mentioned, BNB has continued to look insanely bullish on both the USDT and Bitcoin pairs. This coin has everything going for it from a chart perspective and also fundamentally. As you know, it has deflationary aspects now to it. It's being used for fees on PancakeSwap, which has surpassed Uniswap in volume, and it is the key to the entire Binance ecosystem, which is arguably the largest and most intense ecosystem in all of crypto. But let's take a look at what the charts are saying. Here you can see the 4-hour chart showing the original setup that we had here in red on this blue bull pennant with a target of $603 exactly. Now, you get that target by measuring the flagpole and then taking that from the breakout and extrapolating it, pulling it up to roughly $603 to $606, depending on where you measure it from. That move is done. That chart is finished. But as you can see, we're setting up a very similar bull pennant with a flagpole that starts around $225. Zooming into the 4-hour, you can see this symmetrical triangle, absolutely beautiful and perfect. Up, down, up, down. When you have a triangle or pennant, you want to see two alternating touches on each side. This is absolutely confirmed. Perfect. Technically, from a chart perspective, we have a break of the top and now a retest of that descending resistance as support. Absolutely a perfect technical entry right here if you're a trader who trades patterns. If you're a horizontal trader, you might want to wait for a break of 638.57, the previous all-time high, and then a flip to that as support on a retest, and then heading up to those targets around $1,000. Above 638.57 would be price discovery. You definitely want a piece of cryptocurrencies when they enter price discovery once again. We saw what Bitcoin did when it finally broke its 20,000 resistance from back in 2017. It absolutely mooned up to 65,000 in a few short months. BNB also looks amazing against the Bitcoin pair. If you follow my newsletter or follow me on Twitter, you know that this was our original entry on this move around 0.0047. We had the break of this red resistance, retest as support right into demand. And then we had trades on it at this line, at the EQ of the range, at the top of the range with targets up here, which filled. Well, we've seen bullish consolidation since then, basically in a cup and handle pattern. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on that pattern. As you can see, price topped around 0.0105, formed this beautiful rounding pattern here. Cup, now yes, the cup went a little higher than you would like. You would generally want the cup to line up exactly with the beginning. Then a handle, the handle being some sort of bullish consolidation, a flag, a wedge, something like that. Breakout, retest and consolidation, move up now into price discovery above 0.011, which was the previous all-time high for this pair. Absolutely bullish movement here. Heading back, you can see that the target of this pattern is about 0.012713. That would be quite a move still from here, but I don't think it's going to stop. BNB, Binance Coin, looks absolutely incredible. I think exchange tokens are definitely where you want to be right now. We're seeing similar movement on FTT, the FTX coin, and we could see other exchange coins follow. This is the trend. No reason to fight it. Get in on the exchange tokens. And it looks like BNB is headed to $1,000. Now let's dig into a few very brief news stories. This one, no, Facebook didn't report any Bitcoin in its Q1 earnings. The rumors were just rumors. There's no sign of Bitcoin on Facebook's earning report. Now, I believe it started with Alistair Milne on Twitter, who posted that there was a rumor that Facebook was going to report that they had purchased Bitcoin on their balance sheet in their earnings. Just a rumor. And as we saw with Coinbase and basically everything in this space, that rumor took a life of its own, eventually reaching The Street and Bloomberg and CNBC, and Fox, all speculating that Bitcoin was going to be on Facebook's balance sheet. Completely unsubstantiated rumor, no actual facts or basis, and something that all of us reported because the very idea of it was exciting. Of course, they ended up not reporting anything. There was no Bitcoin on the balance sheet and it was a non-event. But what's interesting, people on crypto Twitter were screaming that you had to sell the news that Facebook did not buy Bitcoin. But there was no news. It was completely a rumor. It's so absurd to even think about selling the news when the news event is a rumor that was never news and never existed. This is how markets get spooked. This is how these things happen. And we did see Bitcoin drop about $1,000 right when the earnings report came out. Guys, you do not trade on rumors. And when you say buy the rumor, sell the news, there was no news to sell. This should not have affected price. This should never have been more than a blip on anyone's radar. But it shows just how delicate markets are and just how delicate the minds of traders and human beings in general tend to be. No Bitcoin on Facebook's balance sheet, no big deal. Also, I mean, let's be real. Do we really think that Mark Zuckerberg wants to pump the Winklevoss's bags? I don't know. We're supposed to call them the Winklevi, I believe, in this community. But it was definitely a long shot from the very beginning. So let's go on to the next story. Fed Chair Powell says he sees froth in equities markets when asked about Dogecoin and GameStop. Here's his quote. Many people just look at asset prices and they look at some of the things going on in the equities markets. And I think they reflect froth in the equities markets, said Powell, who did not mention either Dogecoin or GameStop in his response. But really, we try to stick to a framework so that we can talk about it and be held accountable for it. Holy crap, what an idiot. How can Fed Chairman Powell, with a straight face, in an interview say that he sees froth in the market and not realize that the entire reason there's froth in the market is because they are devaluing the dollar by printing them endlessly and they have infinite quantitative easing? Why do you think there's froth in the market? Because there's endless dollars and the government is buying bonds and stocks and giving out handouts to any corporation that needs them. This is all a result of Fed policy of which he is in charge of. And he has the audacity to go on TV in an interview and say, hey, equity markets look frothy. Of course they do. That's the exact intention of you pumping money into the market, you jackass. Central banks are not your friends. They are the enemy. People are still suffering on Main Street, but stocks only go up. And the reason they only go up is because of people like Jerome Powell. And in the final story, Binance and Huobi stablecoins surge as Asia seeks fiat alternatives. Binance's BUSD and Huobi's HUSD dominated their stablecoin rivals in the first 3 months of this year. Why is Asia hungry for alternatives to fiat? Now that can be conjectured at and discussed endlessly, but the real core of this story obviously is the fact that stablecoins are gaining traction all around the world, especially in Asia, because they're just better than banks. Anyone who's ever sent an ACH or a SWIFT transaction knows that it can take days, especially across borders, to clear, with high fees and all of these toll collectors and intermediaries in the middle who can freeze or stop your transaction. Of course, younger people, especially millennials who are using these coins, love the ability to do it without their government's interference and very quickly, instantaneously across borders. We are going to continue to see stable coins dominate the payment market. It has definitely eliminated some of the use case for Bitcoin as a payment, which is fine. Bitcoin has solidified its case as digital gold, but the future of money is digital, and that future is likely to be in stable coins and, of course, central bank digital currencies. That is all the news that is driving the markets today. Once again, I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button down below, and check out everything I've got going on in the description. I really, really encourage you to check out my newsletter, a free version every 2 weeks and a paid version, $15 a month, that comes out 5 days a week. Until tomorrow, peace out.